Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1285. This week on Cars Yeah, I'm celebrating the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance that takes place on May 31st through June 2nd. To learn more, go to greenwichconcours.com.
Surround yourself with good people.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, automotive enthusiasts. I'm revved up and so excited to introduce today's very special guest, calling in from Greenwich, Connecticut, Mary Wennerstrom. Hey, Mary, are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
I certainly am.
All right. Mary Wennerstrom is the chairman of the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. It takes place the weekend after Memorial Day each year in Greenwich, Connecticut. She is also the director of the legendary Madison Avenue Sports Car Driving and Chowder Society that meets monthly at Sardi's restaurant in Manhattan. Mary helped her mother-in-law, Genia, and her father-in-law, Bruce Wennerstrom, in the Greenwich Concours since it began back in 1996. Genia passed away in 2011, and then Bruce passed in late 2015, and Mary took the reins since that time. Raised in Greenwich with her 6 older brothers, oh my gosh, Mary was exposed to cars and racing at a very early age. When she met her husband Leif, her love of cars grew even more, and together they continue the legacy of the Concours and the Chowder Club that Bruce and Genia so greatly cherished. So Mary, I've told our listeners just a little bit about you. Would you take a brief moment, share a little more about your passion for automobiles?
Okay. So, it started with my brothers, which I'll go into a little bit more later on. But, with 6 older brothers, 4 of them were very much into automobiles. So I was surrounded by it. And when I met my husband, his family was just so deeply ingrained in the car world. So it was a good fit, and it definitely grew since then. We decided, let's start watching Formula One together. And we started watching, I think it was 1987, and we watched almost every race since then. It's definitely not the same since David Hobbs and Lee Diffie are not doing it anymore, and Steve Matchett. We miss those guys. So we're not as loyal since then. But we love cars, and, I used to read all the magazines, and we'd watch Motor Week and all the car shows, but it's definitely, since running the concours, I don't have as much time to do all the other things, but it takes a lot of time to run the concours and the Chowder Club. It takes more time than people imagine.
I cannot imagine. 87 was a pretty cool year. We had Prost and Mansell and Piquet, and there were some pretty cool names. Senna. Some incredible guys racing. We watched the Indy car racing. And what's kind of neat, too, is at the Chowder Club monthly meetings, we met a lot of these people. And that was neat. We'd have lunch. We had lunch with Bobby Rahal and Bobby Unser and Danny Sullivan. And it was, met so many race car drivers. Carroll Shelby. It was like a who's who. Yeah, everyone. It's been amazing. That's been a great experience. And continues to be. But it was kind of neat to meet all those people, being a part of the Wennerstrom family, to meet all these amazing people. Oh, I can't even imagine. Well, you've been engrossed in the car world ever since then. And as we continue on your journey, I always like to start by asking my guests for a success quote or a mantra. This is some kind of saying that's been instrumental in forming your life and your success. It's a nice way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So Mary, take the wheel. Well, when my father-in-law passed away, one of the first people I reached out to was Bill Warner, and I asked Bill for advice, and he gave such great advice. He said, surround yourself with good people. I doubt he remembers saying that, but that meant so much to me, and I really have surrounded myself with great people, the people who help on the concours. I think car people in general are such great people, but I have such a great group helping me, and such a large group, and it gets larger every year. So that's fantastic. I would say surround yourself with good people. He also said, this is another thing, not an inspirational quote, but he said people ask him, so what does it take to put on a concours? And Bill said he tells them, you've got to work 12 hours a day,
365 days a year.
Yeah.
And I said, well, now that I've run the event for 3 years, I'll say that he underestimated how much time is involved.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whenever people say, oh, I think I'll start a Concours, I think, oh, I've got a whole bunch of Concours directors who've been on cars. Yeah, that you need to talk to first, because I'm not so sure you know what you're getting into. But of course, Bill Warner, oh my gosh, that guy knows what he's doing. And, he's taken his own advice, obviously, because he's surrounded himself with some great people. Chris Brewer has been a guest on the show, is one of the people that works on his team. I've met many, many others. And of course, a mutual friend, another past guest here, Judy Stropus, who's I know a good friend of yours, a Chowder Club member. There's just some tremendous people in this car circle.
Judy's on the advisory board at the Chowder Club, and she is the head of PR for the Greenwich Concours. I talk and email with Judy all the time. So
she's great.
Very important.
She's great. For those listeners out there that missed my talk with Judy, you can go back and find that show on the Car Show website. Amazing woman, and who's been around the automotive industry forever. Well, I want to go back in time a little further here and talk about a story that instigated your passion for cars. You touched on this. Having all these brothers who are into cars and so forth, and marrying into a family that was into cars. But is there a pivotal moment in your life when you knew that you were going to be a car gal?
Well, when I was little, I had a lot of stuffed animals and a lot of dolls. I was a very girly girl, but I inherited all my brothers' Matchbox cars and all their Corgi, the Corgi Juniors. So I would play as much with my Matchbox cars as I played with my dolls and my other toys. And I would save my money to go to the toy store. And I can remember, looking at the little Matchbox, the little round, the little turntable thing that you would turn the models and trying to decide which ones you were going to buy. And I say it's funny that I always liked the more mundane cars. Like my favorite car was a pink Ford Granada, which was really, and it wasn't because it was pink. It was because it was I liked the simplicity of it. For some reason, I liked the simpler shaped cars. So
yeah.
But my brothers. My brothers were. I have 6 older brothers. They're like a great group of guys. I'm very blessed to have them as my brothers, and 4 of them were very into cars. The other 2 not so much, but 4 of them always had, an MG, or my brother would have, and these were not like Concours condition. These were
drivers.
what they could afford at 20 years old. But they had MGs. My brother would get old Cadillacs. My other brother would TR6, Austin Healey's. My oldest brother was into Harley Davidsons, and these guys would take a road trip to the Indy 500 often. And whereas a lot of these people I've met through the Concours and through the Chowder Club have participated in the Indy 500. My brothers were the guys who were like on top of the vans on top of the van, having beer, watching the race. And they were so excited because there was like a book and there was a picture of them. You could see their van and you could see them on top of the van with their beer, drinking and watching the race. And they're very excited to have made it into that book, which I love. A good group. So.
Yeah, history recorded. That is fun. Well, let's talk about a challenge or even a failure that you maybe have faced along the way. We talked earlier, running a Concours, trying to put it together is fraught with challenges. I can't even imagine half of them. But I want you to walk us through one and then tell us how that helped you learn a whole lot so you could move forward in a positive way.
No matter what you do, running a Concours or whatever you do, I think every day is challenging to everyone. And I think just life in general it's tough. Life is tough, and you have to take things one day at a time and try not to worry, because there's so much to worry about. I put on an event that takes place outdoors, which is, I have to admit I do worry about the rain a lot, but you have to take it one day at a time and just work at what you're doing and get things done and just focus on what you're doing in the moment and try to take the joy where you can find it, because every day is a challenge. To say what's a big challenge, it's like, everywhere. It's when Bruce passed away, that was a huge challenge, and left with his huge responsibility and this incredible legacy, and not wanting to disappoint so many people. And, that was the biggest. But then ever since then, it's just, as you said, it's constant, but it's not like it's just what I do. Everybody has that in their life.
Sure. This is probably a silly question, but when you think about the Concours, since you've taken it over and all the number of things you have to deal with, is there one that tends to stand out every year that's a constant? Or is it just, there's just too many little ones that combine into one big thing.
You mean like problems?
Challenges. Yeah, just something
challenges?
that's always like seems to stand out each year.
Okay, well, the one thing that my least favorite thing is rejection. And we have to reject. We get hundreds more cars than we need. And people take that very, very personally. It's like you're rejecting their child or something. And people get very angry. So for me, that's the hardest thing. And it's just way too many people to do an individual, we do send out a generic, I'm sorry, and try to cover the bases. But people get so angry. And to me, that's
right.
the most difficult part of the concours. And
I can't imagine.
That's the worst. The worst part.
Yeah, I can. Oh my gosh, that would be a tough one for sure. Well, let's have a little fun instead of dwelling on that.
Okay.
And talk about your first really special vehicle, first car that you got that had great meaning for you, and maybe share a memory you have about that ride.
I'm the youngest of 8 kids, so we didn't have fancy cars when I was growing up. Like I said, my brothers, their cars were fixer-uppers. I got the family car when I was 16. And it wasn't my car, but it was a Volkswagen Squareback, a red Volkswagen Squareback, and I loved that car.
Cool.
To me,
yeah.
I loved that car, and I have happy memories of being with my friends in that car in high school and whatnot. But for me, then my first special car, my dream car was a Lotus Turbo Esprit, a black Lotus Turbo Esprit. Like that was my dream car, but I could never afford that. So when Pontiac came out with their Fiero, I thought the black Pontiac Fiero looked a lot like the Lotus Turbo Esprit.
There you go.
So I got that, and that was my first special car, and I felt very special in that with the sunroof off, and I loved that car. It was horrible. It was so unreliable, and you had to double clutch to get it into second or third gear. I can't remember, but it was just so awful. But at the same time, I thought it looked so pretty, so I didn't really care.
There you go. There you go. Very nice. Well, how about a car you've let go in your life? Is there one that you wish you had back?
No, I wish that I have some of my Corgi Juniors from my brothers. I wish I had all my Matchbox cars because I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't, for me, I don't get attached to the cars. Now, if you ask my husband that, he would like to keep every car we've ever bought, no matter,
of course.
No matter what, whether it be a special car or just a daily driver. He loves everything, and he would love to get back every car we had. He's like, oh, I really like that Pontiac Grand Am. That's the way that's just him. He's that way. But for me, I'm more practical.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got to have one of those in the family. Otherwise you have chaos.
Right.
You have a house full of cars and not a place to park all of them. Well, I would love for you to share with our listeners a lot more about the 24th annual Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. Tell our listeners that are going to be fortunate enough to attend this spectacular event. It's an iconic, legendary event at this point in time. What they'll see this year. So
the big story this year is Zagato. And we actually, in addition to, right now we've got about 26, maybe 27 cars built, with coachwork by Zagato scheduled for the event. So that's a great variety, starting from the 1930s all the way up to the modern builds. But we also have Andrea Zagato and his wife, Mirella Rivolta Zagato, coming, which is exciting, coming from Italy to be with us. We also have a display of Arnolds, the Arnold Bristol, Arnold Aston Martins, and Arnold MGs. And we have Michael Arnold coming. I was speaking with him earlier today, so that's wonderful. And let me take a look at and we just have great people there, too. It's the thing I like about our event is it's small. We're on a small little peninsula, so everyone's there. It's not like there's not that much, whereas Pebble Beach, you got all this stuff going on all around, Monterey, and Amelia Island is much bigger. But at our event, everyone's doing the same thing all weekend. So you all get to hang out together all weekend, which I think is a fun part of our event. And we've got
your event's multi-day. So there's it's May 31st through June 2nd. So what is consuming these multi-day events? Because most people think of a concours as a one-day thing, but this is not a one-day thing.
Yeah, we are different in that we have a 2-day concours. So Saturday we have mostly American cars, but we will have the Zagatos and the Arnolds on both days, and the supercars we'll have displayed on both days. But Saturday is American cars are judged, and it's mainly American cars and motorcycles. Sunday, it is the foreign cars and motorcycles. So that's the day that the Zagatos and the Arnolds will be judged. So so we have 2 award ceremonies. We go through 2 concours, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, which is kind of neat.
Jeez.
And then
as if one isn't enough for you, Mary. I mean, my gosh, you just hit me again, right between the eyes.
Yeah, all in one location, so it's not as bad. I don't think that's as bad as it sounds, and I think it's nice for the people because you really get to see all the cars. So on Saturday, you can see all the cars. The other thing, on Saturday, the Bonham's auction tent is open, so you can go see all the cars that are up for auction. So not only do you see about 150 cars and motorcycles on the concourse field, but there's also an additional 100 cars in the Bonham's auction tent, which is kind of neat. We start everything, I'm going backwards there. We start everything on Friday with our grand tour, and then we have Bonham's has an auction preview for the concourse participants. And then we have the same weekend, the Greenwich Film Festival is the same weekend, and we do an event with them on Friday night. So that's a kind of a fun thing for us. And I think, last year we did a Briggs Cunningham event, and the year before that we did a Cannonball event. But this year I think they have some interesting films, and I think we're going to give people a choice of maybe 2 or 3 different things to do this year with the film festival. So
wow. Well, there's all sorts of things going on. I know also on, let's see, I think it's Sunday, you're going to be commemorating the 100th anniversary of Bentley. Is that right?
Yes, and we're doing that with the Bentley Drivers Club. So we're working with the Bentley Drivers Club in this region, and they're doing a great job. The cars are beautiful. We've got probably about a dozen really special Bentleys coming too. So 16 Arnolds and about a dozen Bentleys, and got some interesting orphan marks for our Saturday cars.
I wanted to touch on this orphan mark. Orphan American marks and American supercharged cars will be a special class on Saturday. Orphan cars. Tell me about those.
It's funny because I was saying, should we put a Pontiac in there? Because technically Pontiac is no longer made there.
Right.
But we're trying to go a little more, so we have a Franklin, a LaSalle, a Hupmobile, a Tucker, a Studebaker, Kaiser, Mercury, Nash. We're trying to do a little cars that you don't see anymore. So we'll have some interesting ones in there as well. We've got an odd Moe's Safari car, which I don't think they made many of them, and I don't think they made them for long, but it's going to be an interesting display, little something for everyone.
Yeah, you think about it, there's a lot of cars. I remember the first time I encountered a Page, and my daughter's name is Paige, and I had no idea there were a Pages. This is probably 25 years ago. I was at the Hershey swap meet and found a cool little dash badge or in front of the engine badge that said Page, and bought it for her and framed it and so forth. There's a lot of cars that were made that no longer exist, especially from way back pre-war and so forth. So, wow. Well, I'll remind our listeners, just go to GreenwichConcours.com. You'll find everything you need to know. Make plans to attend this event. It's absolutely spectacular. It's a fun destination, but a fun 3 days to spend doing things as well. Well, Mary, up next is the last lap before we put the pedal to the metal. Let's say thank you to today's Cars Yeah sponsors. Hey, fellow automotive enthusiasts, you know I'm a huge fan of Covercraft. I've protected my vehicles with their products since 1975. That's right, all the way back to my high school days. Want to keep your vehicle's exterior and interior looking new? It's easy with a Covercraft car cover. A car cover is the best way to keep your vehicle looking great for years to come. Car covers protect your paint from fallout, birds, dust, rain, insects, and pollen. It's a fast, easy, and inexpensive way to keep your vehicle looking new. I use my Covercraft car covers every single day. Right now, you can get 10% off all Covercraft custom car covers or their ready-fit car covers. Plus, they offer you over 15 quality fabrics to choose from. Their spring sale is from April 15th through June 16th, 2019. Order direct at Covercraft.com and tell them Mark at Cars Yeah sent you. Covercraft is the right choice. Learn more today at Covercraft.com. That's Covercraft.com. Are you looking for a way to get your products or services into the ears of thousands of automotive enthusiasts around the globe? I can help. This is Mark Green here at Cars Yeah, and I'd be honored to be an influencer and ambassador for your brand in a unique and personal way. 5 days a week, thousands of subscribers and listeners enjoy the Cars Yeah podcast and website. Contact me today and I'll show you how at mark@carsyeah.com or connect with me through the Cars Yeah website at carsyeah.com. Hey, Mark Green here from the Cars Yeah podcast. Did you know you can now see me on the Cars Yeah TV show? That's right. Cars Yeah is now on MAV TV. I visit some of the past Cars Yeah guests and take you along for the ride. Go to mavtv.com to learn more where you can enjoy Cars Yeah TV. MAV TV is also available on DirecTV, Fubo TV, Fios by Verizon, or you can stream it through mavtv.com online. And they said I only had a face for podcasting. All right, Mary, we are back, and I have a bit of an introspective question for you. If tomorrow you woke up and you were a car, you'd actually manifest it into a vehicle. It's not what you want to be, but how you perceive yourself. What would Mary be and why?
I don't know what brand I'd be. I would just be something reliable, something that you'd probably hold on to for a long time, not something that you'd lease, probably something that you'd want to own for a long time, because I'm very reliable and
nice.
and dependent.
That's okay. Now, let me narrow it down a little bit here. Would you be an American mark or European?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I thought with that I was asking my daughter that question earlier, and I'm like, I don't know. I said, I think I'm going to pass on that. I think I'm going to pass when Mark asked me that question.
You're not allowed to pass here on Cars.
That's not allowed.
No,
well,
you can't pass.
I don't know.
Let me narrow it down. I mean, you're born and raised here in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's call you American car, and you're a reliable American car, right? Well, what comes to mind about a reliable American car? I'll tell you what comes to my mind. I mean, how about a Ford pickup or a Chevy pickup? You know, those things work on.
No, not a pickup truck.
Okay, not a pickup truck.
I don't know what I am, but I'm not that. Okay.
You're not that. Okay, how about a station wagon? You know, family car that stays in the family for 10 years?
Yeah, I went through this. I honestly, I can't. I don't think I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm a station wagon. I don't think I'm a pickup truck, but I don't think I'm a sports car. I really don't know. I think it's a hard
you're a
question.
tough one.
I don't know.
You're a tough
I'll
one.
come back.
I'll tell you, Mary.
I'll email you, and you can.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put that in because I'm not going to be able to let you off the hook because there's only been one person out of 1,285 people that would not answer that question. You want to know who that was?
Who?
The late Denise McCluggage.
Awesome. I'm in good company. Okay.
You're in good company, at least. Will you? Okay. All right. I'll let you get away with it.
You can say that'll be like a trivia question. What do Denise McCluggage and Mary Wennerstrom have in common besides a lot of trips to the Chowder Club in New York City?
Yes, absolutely. There you go. Okay. All right. Well, we are entering the last lap. I'm going to fire off a series of questions and ask you to give our listeners some very quick blips of the no-name car throttle. So here we go. What's the best automotive advice you've ever received?
Okay, well, my husband always said, wait until at least the second year of a new model release. How's that?
Yeah.
That's my...
Yeah, don't be a beta car.
Let everyone get work all the bugs out and get it a year or two later. We like to buy cars the last year of the model, which I know most people don't like because then you're missing out on the new, whatever the new look is. But we kind of like to wait
all the bugs out.
Yeah, we don't really care. We like to get the bugs out.
Yep. I would agree with that. Would you share a personal habit that you have that you believe has contributed to your many successes?
Well, it's funny. Someone told me that Fred Simeone said that Mary is very persistent. And I don't, my husband might say nudging. My husband might say it nudging, but I thought that was very funny. So maybe my persistence, because you have to be persistent because,
yes,
you know, I have so many cars that are even still promised to be at the concourse, and I have to keep calling them and
make sure they're done.
I know they're coming.
Restored.
I know they're coming, but I know I have to chase some of them. So I will be persistent.
Well, I tell you, I've had lots and lots of entrepreneurs on the show. Persistence, tenacity, grit. That's what it takes to be successful. So again, you're in good company here on Cars Yeah. How about a resource? Is there one that stands out for you that you're really fond of?
There is this great website where you can go and listen to podcasts. It's called Cars Yeah.
Your check's in the mail, Mary. Yeah, well, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
Inspiring, nice guy hosts it.
Wow, okay.
I highly recommend it.
He has a TV show now too. I don't know if you know that. But,
he didn't send me that much money, so I didn't plug that.
You didn't want to plug the TV show. Okay, well, I'll plug it.
I don't get that network, so I don't get the network that you're on.
All right. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're on MAV TV.
Get it over here. I'm not paying an extra $3 a month to watch you. I'm sorry.
Ouch. Oh,
just kidding.
man.
I don't
That's
even know
tough.
it's available. I'm just joking.
Well, we'll see what we can do for you here. We're working on getting on, having it everywhere so everybody can easily access it. Now, if I could wave my magic wand and arrange for you to have a drink with anyone in the automotive industry, living or deceased, who would that be?
Okay. So, you said industry. I'm going to answer with two. I'm going to answer two. I'm not going to answer your what car would I be, but I'm going to give you two answers for this and make up for that. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we did Briggs Cunningham last year. We did the celebration of the Cunningham cars last year, which was pretty amazing. And I learned a lot about Briggs Cunningham from Chuck Schoendorf and Tom Cotter. And it would be neat. I mean, he sounds like he sounded like a really nice guy, a really interesting guy. I think it would be fun for him. But again, I was like discussing all this with my husband, and he said my oldest brother, Fred, who was really into Cadillacs and Harleys, he passed away in 2014. So if it doesn't have to be industry, but just a car guy, it would have to be with my brother, Fred.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be special.
For obvious reasons.
Of course. Yeah, that'd be great. How about a book? Is there a book you'd like to share with our listeners?
Okay, this is me being a good friend, okay?
All right.
I would recommend David Hobbs' new book, Havo, or any book by Michael Furman and John Nickus, or Ken Gross, or Rich Taylor, or the new Lime Rock book by Skip Barber, or Tom Cotter and Bill Warner's Cuba's Car Culture, or any of Tom Cotter's books. Look at me, aren't I good? I wrote down all my friends with their books. I hope I got everybody. I hope I remember.
Well,
everybody.
all those guys have been on this show, and those are all great books. They all sit on my show. Fantastic books, all great people, all special people, very inspiring people.
And at the show this year, so David Hobbs signed books last year, but he's coming back. He's going to sign his book again this year. And Michael Furman and John Nickus are going to be signing books. And hopefully Tom Cotter and Bill Warner. Bill's not 100% he's going to be there, but if he's coming, Bill and Tom Cotter will sign their Cuba's Car Culture book too. So we'll have a good group of people.
Very, very inspiring group of guys. Very cool. Well, I'll remind our listeners you can find all these great links that Mary has shared on her very own Cars Yeah show notes page. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in Mary Wennerstrom, Wennerstrom, and that page will pop right up. I haven't had too many Marys on the show, so she should be easy to find. All sorts of past guests, and they all have a quick, easy click to buy. So check it out. If you want the ultimate car library, go to carsyeah.com, click on resources, guest recommended books. All right, we are up to the checkered flag. And this last question can be a bit of a doozy. Today, I'm going to buy you any cool collector car on the planet. But there's some rules.
Oh, no, you're not.
Game.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, I'm not? How come?
No, because it's a McLaren F1 and it's like, what are they, like $14 million?
Well, Mary, you know how many cars I bought? I bought 1,284 cars before you called today. I buy whatever people want. I'm the magic man. So don't worry about it. I don't care how expensive of a date you are. I'll pay for it, okay? So here are the rules, though. You can't sell it to buy a bunch of other toys with. That little trick's off the table for smart people. You have to drive it. No garage queens allowed. So pick a car that you can take out on the road and enjoy. And it's the only cool collector car you can have in your garage. So are we still going with the McLaren?
Yes. And because it's got 3 seats, because it's my husband, myself, and we have a daughter. We have our 15-year-old daughter.
There you go.
My husband always wanted, the GT40 was his dream car. But he said once our daughter was born, he said, I don't want a 2-seat sports car anymore. So then the McLaren F1, he's like, well, there we go. There's our dream car because all 3 of us could ride in it.
Well, today I'm going to make your dream come true. So that's awesome. An easy one. Yeah. Do you just battle for that center seat, the driver?
I won't sell it. I will not sell it.
Well, you're not allowed. So, if you do, it evaporates. It's like magic. Just poof, it's gone. So, yeah, you can't do that. What color would you like that McLaren to be?
Oh, gosh, I don't really care. If you make it happen, I'm fine. I really don't care.
I'll find whatever one's available.
Weird, but,
okay. All right. Cool. All right. I'll call up. There's a guy who lives not too far from you. I think he used to make shirts with polo ponies on them or something. He's got an orange one that's pretty nice. Maybe I could talk him out of that. I think his name's Ralphie.
Does he have an
Ralphie or something? Oh, yeah. He's got everything good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got one of everything that's the best, right? That's all those shirts I bought all those years with a polo pony on it. I don't even play polo. What was I doing wearing those things? Jeez, just funding his garage and not mine.
Yeah.
Well, Mary, you've taken me on a great ride today. I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I want to thank you for sharing your personal automotive journey. Could you offer us a little parting piece of wisdom or guidance before you rip off down the road in that McLaren F1?
We were talking before, you were talking about challenges, and I would just say to, I'm so busy every day from now till the concours. And like yesterday I was out, we were playing with our dog in the yard, and you have to take joy in those moments because everyone these days is so busy and everyone works so hard, and you can't just wait for a vacation or this or that. You've got to take the joy where you can find it. So those 20-minute walks with your dog or the half-hour lunch with your daughter or whatever, where you get that joy, just really, really cherish those moments because it's a lot of tough times in life and a lot of hard work. So enjoy the times that you can.
Take joy in those special moments. Very wise advice. And again, what's the best way for our listeners to learn more about the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance?
Well, the best thing is GreenwichConcours.com, but also our Facebook page. We're always posting updates on our Facebook page about what's going on. And if you sign up for an e-blast where you're trying to send out all the news about what's going on and who's going to be there and pictures of cars that will be showing up and then videos of what we did afterwards. So that's the best. The website, the Facebook, and the e-blast.
Absolutely. Well, again, listeners, you can find links to all these ways to connect with the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance on Mary's very own show notes page on the Cars Yeah website. Mary, thanks for being so generous today with your time, your expertise, and for sharing your many experiences. I'll remind the listeners that all this week, I'm going to have special guests from the Greenwich Concours on Cars Yeah, so listen tomorrow for the next guest. Until you and I talk again, Mary, I'll see you at the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. You take care of your cars, but who takes care of your investments? Tune-ups aren't just for engines. Updating your financial plan is important too. Your GPS may take you from A to B, but it won't help you on the road to financial freedom. For that, you need a good co-pilot and a very trusted advisor. Chris Kimball, CFP, is just the man for the job. He'll guide you down that road without driving you crazy. For over 25 years, Chris has helped people just like you and me with their financial planning and investments. With a master's degree in financial services, he is eminently qualified, and he's a car guy too. Learn more at chrisvkimball.com or call 866-ON-A-PLAN. Securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp., member FINRA SIPC. CK Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.